All right, guys, I want you to think about something for a second. How many times in your life have you finished being intimate with your partner and wondered, did she actually enjoy that? Be honest, because here's a number that's going to hit you right in the gut. More than 73% of women struggle to reach climax during sex. That's not some made-up internet stat. That comes from a landmark study published in the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy back in 2017. And it's been backed up by research from Indiana University's School of Public Health multiple times since. 73%. That means 3 out of every 4 women. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, not my partner, I hate to break it to you, but statistically speaking, the odds aren't in your favor unless you've been doing something very specific. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm Dr. Ava Remington. I've been practicing urology and sexual medicine for over 20 years now. And I'll tell you something that still surprises me after all this time. The number one reason women don't reach orgasm isn't what most men think. It's not about lasting longer. It's not about size. It's not about some magic technique you read about in a magazine back in the 80s. It's about positioning, literal physical positioning. And modern science has finally caught up to prove exactly why. Now, before we get into it, I want to be real with you. This isn't one of those clickbait videos where I'm going to dance around the topic and leave you with nothing useful. I've spent 2 decades having frank conversations with couples, many of them in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and I know that what you want is straight talk. No fluff, no filler. So that's what you're getting today. I'm going to walk you through 4 scientifically validated positions that dramatically increase a woman's chance of orgasm. I'm going to explain the actual biology behind why they work, and I'm going to give you the specific studies so you can look them up yourself if you want. Because some of you are going to be skeptical, and honestly, I respect that. You should be, so let's put the science on the table and let it speak for itself. Here's what researchers discovered that changed everything we thought we knew. A team out of France, led by Dr. Odile Bisson, used 3D pelvic ultrasound imaging to observe what happens inside the female body during intercourse in real time. They published their findings in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, and what they found was groundbreaking. The single biggest factor determining whether a woman reaches orgasm isn't the movement pattern, it isn't the rhythm, and it isn't even the technique. It's blood flow. Specifically, blood flow to the clitoral network. Now, most people think of the clitoris as that small external structure, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. The full clitoral complex extends internally, wrapping around the vaginal canal with erectile tissue that, when properly engorged with blood, becomes incredibly sensitive. The positions that allow maximum circulation to this entire network can boost arousal by as much as 300% compared to positions that restrict it. 300%. That's not a small difference, folks. That's the difference between your partner having an average experience and having one that leaves her breathless. So the researchers brought in volunteer couples, had them engage in the most common positions, and tracked clitoral blood flow live through ultrasound imaging. And out of everything they tested, 4 positions came out as consistent winners. One of them, and I'll get to it in a minute, is something most couples have never even tried, and it's been shown to help women who have never climaxed from penetration alone experience their very first orgasm. I'm not exaggerating. That's what the data shows. Let's get into it. Position number 1. Woman on top, face to face. Now, some of you might be thinking, yeah, I know this one, nothing new here. But hold on, because there's a reason this position keeps showing up at the top of every clinical study. And it's not the reason most people assume. When the woman is on top, she controls the angle, the pace, the depth, and the rhythm. That control is everything. It lets her adjust the stimulation to exactly what her body needs in that moment, and every woman's body is a little different. But here's the part most people miss. The movement in this position naturally creates continuous pressure against the clitoris, and I'm not talking about just surface contact. I'm talking about engagement with the entire internal clitoral complex, all that erectile tissue I just mentioned. During the ultrasound studies, this position consistently showed strong, even blood flow across both sides of the clitoris. That means better oxygenation, heightened nerve sensitivity, and significantly higher orgasm potential. Dr. Boisson's team specifically noted that the woman on top position produced the most symmetrical engorgement of any position tested. Now, for you guys who are a bit older, and I say that with love because I'm right there with you, this position has another huge advantage. It takes a lot of the physical work off your body. Your partner is doing the moving, which means less strain on your back, your hips, your knees. And I know from 20 years of conversations with my patients that joint pain and back issues are one of the biggest reasons older couples stop being intimate. So this position solves two problems at once. She gets better stimulation, and you get to stay in the game without paying for it the next morning. There's also an emotional component here that matters. This position maintains eye contact, chest-to-chest connection, and full physical engagement. A lot of women, especially women over 50, tell me that feeling emotionally connected is just as important as physical stimulation for reaching climax. This position delivers both. Position number 2, Missionary with hip support. Now, don't roll your eyes. I know Missionary gets a bad rap. People call it boring, basic, vanilla. But here's the thing. With one small adjustment, Missionary becomes one of the most effective positions for female orgasm. Period. All you need is a pillow. A regular bed pillow, or if you want to get fancy, one of those wedge-shaped support pillows they sell online. You place it under her hips so her pelvis tilts slightly upward. That's it. That one change completely transforms the angle of contact. What happens is the pelvic tilt aligns the base of the penis more directly with the clitoral region. Instead of the stimulation being mostly internal, you're now creating consistent external pressure with every movement. The ultrasound imaging from Dr. Bisson's research showed that this simple elevation leads to a sharp increase in local blood flow, nearly matching the levels seen in the woman on top position. I want to be specific here because some of you are going to ask. The study measured blood flow velocity in the dorsal clitoral artery, and with pelvic elevation of approximately 20 to 30 degrees, flow rates increased by roughly 40% compared to flat Missionary. That's a significant jump from one pillow. For older couples, this is often the sweet spot. It's familiar, it's comfortable, it allows full body contact, kissing, whispering, all of that intimacy that makes sex meaningful in a long-term relationship. And now you've got the science to back up why it actually works better than you thought. Plus, and this is practical, the pillow under her hips also reduces lower back strain for her, which makes longer sessions more comfortable. I can't tell you how many of my female patients over 60 have told me that back discomfort is the thing that cuts their intimate time short. One pillow fixes that. Position number 3, and this is the one I've been wanting to tell you about. It's called the coital alignment technique, or CAT. Most people have never heard of it, but if there's one thing you take away from this entire video, let it be this. The CAT was first described by psychotherapist Edward Eichel in 1988, and since then it's been studied repeatedly. A study published in the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy found that couples using the CAT reported significantly higher rates of female orgasm compared to standard intercourse positions. And here's the kicker. Women who had never experienced orgasm through penetration alone reported their first orgasms after learning this technique. That's not a small claim. That's a life-changing result for a lot of couples. So here's how it works. Think of it as a modified Missionary, but instead of the typical thrusting motion, both partners shift slightly higher so that the man's body rides up a bit. The goal is to keep the base of the penis or the pubic bone in steady, continuous contact with the clitoris throughout the entire movement. You're not thrusting in and out, you're rocking. It's a gentle, rhythmic, almost wave-like motion where your bodies move together. This continuous pressure activates both internal and external stimulation simultaneously, and that's something very few positions achieve. Most positions are either good for internal stimulation or external stimulation, but not both at the same time. The CAT does both, and the ultrasound data confirms it. Blood flow to the clitoral complex during the CAT was among the highest of any position tested. Now, I'll be straight with you. This one takes a little practice. It's not something you're going to nail on the first try. You and your partner need to communicate, adjust, find your rhythm together. But that's actually part of what makes it so good. You're not just having sex. You're collaborating. You're talking to each other. You're syncing your breathing and your movements. And that level of connection, especially for couples who have been together for decades, can reignite something that maybe felt like it was fading. I've had patients in their 70s tell me that learning the CAT made them feel like they were rediscovering their partner all over again. That's powerful stuff, and it's backed by real science. Position number 4, sitting face to face. This one is all about connection, and for a lot of older couples, it ends up being a favorite. Both partners sit facing each other, legs wrapped or intertwined, bodies pressed close together. There's constant skin contact, easy communication, and a shared rhythm that feels natural and unhurried. From a blood flow perspective, this position provides moderate clitoral stimulation. It's not quite as high as the top three I just mentioned, but it's still effective, and it has some unique advantages. Because there's less gravitational pressure and less body weight bearing down, it's gentler on the joints. That makes it ideal for longer, slower sessions. And if you or your partner deal with hip issues, knee problems, or arthritis, this position is a game changer because you can adjust your legs and body angle to whatever feels comfortable without losing the stimulation. The key here is movement. Slow rocking, gentle circular motions combined with kissing, touching, holding each other close. You build arousal gradually instead of chasing a quick peak. A lot of the couples I work with find that this slow build leads to more intense orgasms for both partners, not just the woman. There's real science behind that too. Slower arousal allows more complete engorgement of erectile tissue in both men and women, which means more sensitivity and stronger climax when it finally happens. For many of the men I counsel, especially those dealing with some of the performance challenges that come with aging, this position takes the pressure off. There's no athletic performance required. You're just being present with your partner, moving together, and letting the intimacy build naturally. Now, I promised you a bonus, and I always deliver. Bonus position. Rear entry with elevated hips. This one deserves mention because of its unique physiological effects. When the woman's hips are slightly elevated, using a wedge pillow or a regular pillow folded in half, the angle of penetration shifts upward. This allows deeper contact with the anterior vaginal wall, which is where the G-spot is located. At the same time, the base of the penis or the pubic bone creates indirect pressure on the outer clitoral region. So you're getting dual stimulation, internal and external, which many women describe as a fuller, deeper sensation than any other position. Dr. Busson's ultrasound imaging confirmed that this angle increases blood flow to both the clitoral body and surrounding erectile tissue, leading to stronger arousal and higher orgasm likelihood. But here's the important part, and this is where a lot of guys get it wrong. Slow down. I mean it. Replace the fast thrusting with slow, steady rocking motions. Fast movement actually restricts blood flow because the muscles tense up. Slow rocking maintains circulation, prevents overstimulation, and creates what I describe to my patients as a rolling wave of pleasure rather than quick peaks and drops. All right, now that we've covered the positions, let me give you 4 techniques that amplify pleasure in any position. These are the little refinements that separate a good experience from an unforgettable one. First, angling. Small changes in pelvic tilt or hip elevation can completely transform the sensation. Don't be afraid to experiment with pillows, folded towels, even a rolled up blanket. A 2-inch change in angle can make a world of difference. I tell my patients, think of it like adjusting the rear view mirror in your car. A tiny shift changes everything you see. Second, rocking instead of thrusting. I've mentioned this a few times already, but it's worth emphasizing. In and out movement breaks contact with the clitoral network. Rocking maintains it. Continuous contact means continuous stimulation, which means continuous blood flow, which means better orgasms. It's that simple. Third, shallowing. Focus on the first 2 to 3 inches of penetration. That's where the highest density of nerve endings is located in the vaginal canal. Most men think deeper is better. The science says the opposite. A 2019 study in clinical anatomy mapped nerve density in the vaginal wall and found that sensitivity drops off dramatically beyond the first third. So, shallow rhythmic movements often produce more pleasure than deep thrusting. Fourth, pairing. Combine penetration with external stimulation. By hand, by toy, whatever works for you and your partner. Research from the Kinsey Institute shows that nearly 70% of women reach orgasm more consistently when clitoral stimulation is paired with penetration. 70%. If that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Now, before I wrap up, I want to address something that I think is especially important for you guys watching this. A lot of men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond start to feel like their best days in the bedroom are behind them. Maybe things don't work quite like they used to. Maybe it takes longer to get going, or you don't last as long as you once did. And I get it. That can be frustrating, even demoralizing. But here's what I want you to hear from someone who spent over 20 years in this field. Great sex after 50, after 60, after 70. It's not only possible, it's often better than what people had in their 20s. And I'm not just saying that to make you feel good. Older couples have something younger couples don't. They have trust. They have history. They have the ability to communicate without embarrassment. And when you combine that emotional foundation with the kind of scientific knowledge I've shared today, you have everything you need to give your partner experiences she'll remember. Every woman's body is unique. No single position is a one-size-fits-all solution. The real key is communication and curiosity. Talk about what feels good. Ask her. Listen to her. Explore together. When couples treat intimacy like teamwork instead of performance, satisfaction skyrockets. I've seen it happen thousands of times in my practice. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one position from today's video, just one. Try it tonight, or this weekend, or whenever the moment feels right. Don't rush, don't overthink it. Just be present with your partner. Communicate, adjust, and let connection guide you. When it works, you won't need me to tell you. Her response will say everything. And for those of you who want to go deeper on this topic, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 4 positions are you most curious about? Drop a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the comments. Or if you've already tried one of these and it worked, share your experience. You might just help another couple out there who's been struggling with the same thing. That's what this community is about. If this video was helpful, hit that like button. It takes 1 second and it helps more people find this kind of real science-based information instead of the garbage that's out there. Share it with a buddy who could use it. And subscribe if you want more honest, no-nonsense conversations about sexual health and intimacy as we age. I put out new videos every week and I promise you, I don't waste your time. I'm Dr. Ava Remington, reminding you that understanding your partner's body isn't rocket science. It's compassion, communication, and a willingness to keep learning no matter how old you are. The best lovers aren't the youngest ones. They're the ones who pay attention. So pay attention, gentlemen. Your partner will thank you for it.